Hello guys. Today, we will be covering air attack strategies starting from Town Hall 5 all the way up to Town Hall 17. This is part 1 of the series, fully dedicated to air-based attacks. There will be a part 2 focused entirely on ground attack strategies, where I will cover Town Hall 1 through Town Hall 18. Since there are no air troops available below Town Hall 5, this video begins from TH5. I will demonstrate each of the attack strategies with the pros and cons and show you what you can do if the attack doesn't go as planned. Everything will be discussed with details. For every attack, I will show the army composition and hero equipment at the end, and I will also link everything down below. Let's get started after a small intro. At TH5 we have the mass balloons. First we need to break the air defense. We will use lightning on the air defense. Next we will deploy some balloons so it takes down the outer cannon. Next we will do the same thing on that side. After the cannon goes down, we will drop all our loons targeting the air defenses. And then our CC troops on the opposite side. And you can see now the base will be cleared. Guys, there's a few important things you need to keep in mind. You shouldn't drop all the loons together in a bunch. Instead you can begin triangulating your balloon deployment. The objective here is to collapse your balloons from one defense to the next, gradually pushing them inward toward the wizard tower. Otherwise the air traps will take your balloon down. You can also use lightning on the enemy CC troops, it's up to your preferences. In addition, make sure to reinforce the back end of the base with clan castle baby dragons of your own to maintain pressure and prevent your army from stalling. And if baby dragons come from enemy CC troops, use your one from CC. By prioritizing defensive structures first, you significantly reduce the incoming damage to your troops. This allows the balloons to survive longer and clean up the remaining non-defensive buildings, ultimately resulting in a clean 3-star attack. And there's nothing left, let's finish this off and move to TH6. And here's the army combination. At TH6, we have a very similar strategy. You can see the clan castle is located inside the base, whereas the cannons are outside. Don't worry, we will drop a loon, and the CC troops will be out. Let's drop an archer in this corner, so it will be easy for us to take the enemy dragon. Use a combination of archers and wizards in a circle to eliminate it. Once the clan castle troops are taken care of, the attack follows a similar principle to Town Hall 5. Start by deploying your loons so they can reach the splash defenses as quickly as possible. After the defenses begin targeting the loons, send in a few wizards for support, but avoid deploying all of them at once. At this point, I recommend placing a healing spell to restore your loons and keep the push alive. Then, send in a couple more cleaning troops to allow your army to penetrate deeper into the base. For your clan castle reinforcement, you can either bring extra balloons or, since you unlock clan capital reinforcements at Town Hall 6, I strongly recommend using a root rider. Deploy it together with your loons, and it will survive while providing tremendous value. If executed correctly, this strategy will allow you to 3-star almost any base with ease. Don't worry, subscribe to the channel because I'll be bringing the ground version very soon. Let's finish this off, and here's the army combination. This is an all-dragons strategy. It is extremely simple, highly effective, and very reliable at this level. The first thing you need to do is identify the direction of the air sweeper. Your dragons should always fly behind a sweeper, but from a flat side of the base. For example, if the sweeper is pointing in this direction, you should begin your attack from the opposite side. Once the entry site is identified, use 5 lightning spells on the air defense that is furthest away from the sweeper. In this case, the air defenses are closely packed. So by clever development like this, we easily took down 2 of them. Try to take down as much additional value as possible along with the air defense. And the rest we've used like this. After that, spread your dragons evenly across the opposite side of the sweeper. A wide and even dragon spread is very important as it allows them to funnel each other naturally and move smoothly through the base in a single continuous sweep. And don't forget to use your CC loons on the remaining air defense. If small troops such as archers or wizards come out of the clan castle, you can use your remaining lightning spell on them to help your dragons clear faster. However, in most cases, the defending clan castle troop will be a dragon. If that happens, simply allow your dragons to deal with it naturally. If this is a war attack and you are able to scout the base beforehand, and if there are builder huts placed in each corner, you may want to replace one dragon with 5 archers and 3 balloons. When deploying your dragons, place the balloons slightly toward the center of the dragon line. This helps them move into the core faster and take down the air defense more quickly. When executed correctly, this strategy is extremely consistent and will reliably secure a 3-star attack. At TH8 we will start with a similar approach. We will start by zapping out one of the air defenses using 4 lightning spells. And the remaining 4 on this air defense, also taking out air sweeper. Ensure you take down nearby defenses as well. And we will target this air defense and deploy our dragons targeting this air defense. After that, deploy 2 dragons like this on the other to eliminate some buildings and create a funnel for your dragons. And then spam all your dragons and loons from the clan castle. And don't worry about the enemy CC troops. The dragons are strong enough to take down any of the CC troops for TH8. And now let's wait and see how the base is being crushed by the dragons. You might ask me, what if we can't deploy troops behind the sweepers, and what if we have to attack at the front side of the sweeper? Don't worry, I got you guys. I've made a detailed guide on this strategy. I'll link that in the iCard and pinned comments. So make sure you watch that after this. And drop a like if you want top attack strategies based on your town halls. Let's aim for 500 likes. I'll make that video based on your responses, guys. Now, here's a key tip. Deploy your dragons first and then the balloons. With the air defenses taken care of, your dragons should easily dominate the base. Keep in mind that this is just one example, and base layouts can vary, so adapt your approach accordingly. Let's finish this off and move to Town Hall 9. This is the legendary Skelly Donut version. Take a look at this base. The enemy queen and the clan castle are both positioned together in the center, and this strategy works exceptionally well against this type of design. All we need to do here is drop a rage spell, followed immediately by skeleton spells. And freeze spells on the wizard tower. The skeletons will quickly eliminate both the enemy queen and the clan castle troops, completely removing one of the biggest threats in the attack. The skeletons are shifting towards the queen. Unfortunately, we could take down the clan castle. Okay, don't get panicked, let's drop the heroes to take down the enemy CC troops. This section will be cleared, so it naturally creates a path for our lava hounds and balloons. So we can start the attack from the opposite side. I will explain that in just a moment. Next, we deploy the lava hounds, followed by the balloons. Do not spam your balloons. Always deploy them in small groups of 2 or 3 onto individual defenses for the best results and better control. Use the haste spells close to the air defenses and their buildings. The 3rd lava hound is now deployed from the side to tank the 3rd air defense, supported by its own group of balloons. Notice this balloon pack moving in to snipe the wizard tower. Whenever possible, you should deal with wizard towers using small balloon groups. This distracts the tower and prevents splash damage from wiping out your main balloon force. This brings us to the crucial step I mentioned earlier. Take a look at this balloon group entering from the back side. It distracts the wizard tower, which is a complete game changer in this attack. That wizard tower has the potential to destroy the entire main balloon group if left unattended. As you can see, the base is completely crushed at this point. Check the time. One important detail not to forget is to deploy minions on unprotected buildings throughout the attack to speed up the cleanup process. Before dropping the rage and skeleton spells, it is very important to confirm that the enemy queen is in the same wall compartment as the clan castle. If she is outside, you must wait until she moves inside. This step is critical because if the queen is in a different compartment, the skeletons will get stuck on the wall and fail to reach their targets. Let's finish this off and move to the next strategy. The most important piece of this strategy is the queen's giant arrow because we will be able to take down 2 air defenses and the rest using lightning and earthquake spells. If you are unable to hit 2 air defenses, make sure you at least secure one. We've deployed the queen here and pop her ability and then drop the king immediately so that damage gets shifted to king. In the meantime we will drop 3 zaps and 1 earthquake spell to take down them. If possible, place the lightning spells so they also hit nearby defenses, allowing you to get extra value by removing multiple buildings at the same time. After that, use 2 baby dragons to create a funnel on the opposite side of the base because I am flying behind the air sweepers. Now, spread your dragons across the flat side of the base where you are entering. We will drop the stone slammer straight to the single target inferno, and then we will freeze and poison the enemy CC troops and the rage spells on the dragons. At Town Hall 10, you will need this donated in the clan castle. If you do not have access to a siege machine, you can still do well with extra balloons and a dragon. However, since you can reinforce your own clan castle using raid medals, I strongly recommend taking a stone slammer. Town Hall 10 introduces Zap Dragons, and at this level, with the addition of the Minion Prince, you can use him instead of the Barbarian King to support your air attack. If you take the Minion Prince then deploy behind them, along with the Stone Slammer. This is very important as it ensures the dragons move through the base in a single clean line and help funnel each other toward the core. If you can do this, you should always prioritize it. There is no reason to make the attack harder than it needs to be. Guys, I've made tons of TH10 dragon attacks guide, you can find them in the iCard or pinned comments. This base is finished. Now here's the army combination and move to the next strategy. At TH11 we've Zap Electro attack strategy. This strategy follows the same principle as the previous strategy. You can see the position of air defenses. We've deployed the queen here and pop her ability. And then 2 zaps and 1 earthquake spell will be used on the air defenses. And we've deployed the king, so the damage gets shifted. Next we will drop the baby dragons and electro dragons. We should have deployed the loons first. Never mind. Enemy CC troops have come out, so let's drop all the loons, electros and our warden. And poison spells on the enemy CC troops. Then we will drop all of your dragons from this side. Because we can take down the artillery, enemy CC troops. And it is recommended to go with the artillery side. The warden's ability should be used at the beginning and before the first strike of the artillery like this. Now the rest of the spells will be used accordingly. You can see here both the infernos are in single mode, which poses a great threat to our electrons. Don't worry, we can easily clear the space. This strategy is so powerful you can try this without any stone slammer or siege machine. If you want a guide on that, make sure you comment down below. And you may think, what if my giant arrow is of low level, and how can I triple with this army without using my giant arrow? Don't worry, I have the video on this on my channel. Link will be down below. Now let's finish this off and move to the next strategy.
Not giving up, it's my turn this time. They took a shot, now I want mine. You fall, I rise, I take the wheel. So this is how it feels. Where do I go from here? Maybe I'll disappear. If I don't try, I'll never know. I'm waiting on you. Where do I go from here? There will be no more tears. Kill the doubt, feed the fire. Hear the voice inside. Warrior.
This time the Sui Zap Dragon version. First we will use our heroes to take down the enemy CC troops, along with Town Hall and 1 Inferno. Completely clearing this core. Then this straight path will be used for dragons. First we will drop the super wall breaker along with ice golems, followed by our king and queen. We'll use the poison and freeze spell on the enemy CC troops. Next we will drop another wall breaker to open the front town hall compartment. The king's ability is enough to take down the enemy CC troops in the whole compartment. Yes, the king will take it down. Now we will use 2 zaps and 1 earthquake spell on the remaining 3 air defenses. Actually, I forgot to destroy this air defense. Never mind. Let's deploy all the dragons, loons, then stone slammers and the warden. We will use the warden's ability before the first strike of artillery. This allows you to protect as many dragons as possible while pushing through the heaviest damage zones. Now the early rage will come here. You have 1 rage spell in this strategy, and the best place to use it is near the town hall or a multi-target inferno. The goal is to remove splash damage defenses with your dragons. We've here another single targeted inferno. Don't worry, our dragons can easily take them down. Overall, this is a very straightforward and reliable strategy, with simple funneling on both sides and a powerful push through the middle. Best of luck securing your 3 stars. Let's finish this off, and here's the army combination. At Town Hall 13, we have the Zap Dragons strategy with a slight twist. Personally, I prefer to remove the air defenses first with the queen, although you can also choose to do this after destroying air defenses. We begin by using 2 lightning spells and 1 earthquake spell on this air defense, placed exactly as shown. We repeat the same process on the opposite side of the base. Next, we deploy the Archer Queen very precisely on the gold collector so that her giant arrow can line up through both air defenses. Once she is in position, we activate her ability and let the giant arrow do its work. In this case, we were unable to take down the second air defense completely, but that is absolutely fine and not a problem for this strategy. After that, we move into the funneling phase. We deploy the baby dragons, followed by a few balloons, to help shape the entry and remove outer buildings. Once the funnel is established, we release the dragons in a clean line to ensure smooth paving through the base. At this stage, we deploy the Barbarian King, set the Grand Warden to air mode, and then send in the Royal Champion to support the push. After a short delay, once our troops begin reaching the core of the base, we deploy the Battle Blimp. We use our rage spells as shown to maximize damage through the high-value defenses, and we hold on to freeze and poison spells for any defending clan castle troops. As the blimp moves directly toward the town hall, we activate the Grand Warden's ability at the perfect moment. This protects the blimp and allows the balloons inside to survive and completely clear the core of the base. With the town hall removed and the core defenses gone, the remaining dragons easily sweep through the rest of the base, securing a clean and controlled 3-star. Even if things do not go exactly as planned, this strategy remains strong, and our troops will crush the base. If you have any questions so far, feel free to ask in the comments because I love reading your thoughts. We still have the Royal Champion's ability to use whenever you like, though it is most effective when she is in the heart of the base. This army is powerful even though we did not struggle and destroyed half the base within 1 minute. Please hit the like button to help us reach 500 likes and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I've also made a complete guide on this. Link will be down below. Town Hall 14 introduces the Mass Dragons strategy, which is extremely effective when paired with a battle blimp. The first step of the attack is identifying the correct giant arrow value. You should be looking for an angle where you can hit 1 to 2 air defenses, while also allowing the queen to safely walk down the flank afterward. Hitting an air sweeper with the giant arrow is always a bonus, but not mandatory, since we have freeze spells to adapt later. Ideally, Prioritize lining up 2 air defenses if possible. Then the lightning spells should be used on the remaining 2 air defenses. You can see here we've missed 1 air defense. Don't worry. Choose an adjacent corner for the Barbarian King. Deploy the dragons and balloons through the center between your heroes, followed by the Grand Warden and the blimp. Place a rage spell directly over the town hall, paired with a freeze. This allows the balloons and dragon rider inside the battle blimp to eliminate the town hall extremely quickly. Your final freeze spell should be saved for either scattershots or multi-infernos, as they can shred dragons very fast. The royal champion should be dropped like this along the queen to give the extra push and finish the base. If a single inferno locks onto a dragon, freezing that instead is often the better choice. When you do send in the battle blimp, make sure to activate the Grand Warden's ability before the blimp exits his aura. This protection is critical for reaching the town hall safely. If you are flying into an air sweeper, freeze it immediately. Even double freezing a sweeper is acceptable here. After using the Warden ability, it is usually the perfect time to drop a rage spell on the dragons to power them through the core. This decision is less critical, but you should mainly consider which side gives your dragons the cleanest entry. We still have all our dragons left with all the heroes alive. If the initial setup is executed correctly, you will have more than enough firepower remaining to overwhelm the rest of the base. From here, the dragons clean up comfortably, securing a strong and consistent 3-star. At Town Hall 15, we are using the famous dragon strategy. If you look at this base layout, you can clearly see the positioning of the air defenses. By dropping the Archer Queen in this area, we can easily take down 2 of the air defenses. We also have the clan castle and a single target inferno nearby, which makes this side the ideal entry point for our attack. So, we start by deploying the queen here. Unfortunately, we make a major mistake right away, but do not panic, mistakes happen. To stabilize the situation, we immediately deploy the Barbarian King on this side to shift the defensive pressure away from the queen. Now, we move into the main phase of the attack. We deploy all of our dragons in a straight line to ensure clean pathing into the base. The Grand Warden follows behind them, and shortly after, we send in the battle blimp. It is extremely important to activate the Warden's ability before the blimp exits his aura, so that it stays protected all the way to the core. Now comes the most crucial part of this attack. We deploy the clone spells using a 3-finger placement, spreading them properly for maximum value, and immediately follow up with a rage spell. At this point, the invisible spell tower starts to cause problems by disrupting our troops. To handle this, we freeze the surrounding defenses to protect our clone Yetis. Then we drop skeleton spells to force the town hall to activate, allowing our blimp troops to clear the core of the base safely and quickly. While all of this is happening, we also deploy the royal champion alongside the Barbarian King on the side to provide additional support and cleanup value. As you can see, the core is completely destroyed with ease. There is nothing left to stop our dragons and loons now, so sit back and let them finish off the base. And this is exactly why dragons are so forgiving at this level. We still have the royal champion's ability available, along with a couple of dragons and multiple heroes still alive. With this much remaining power, finishing off the base is simple, and we comfortably secure the 3 stars. This attack perfectly shows why dragons are still one of the most reliable strategies at Town Hall 15, even when mistakes are made. Guys, if the town hall is deep on the far side of the base, allow the dragons to clear some defenses first. This ensures that when you activate the Grand Warden ability, the blimp remains protected all the way to the town hall. If the town hall is more central, you can deploy the blimp earlier. Always activate the Grand Warden ability before the blimp exits his aura. If any air sweepers remain active, freeze them immediately. You have multiple freeze spells, and it is ideal to use them early to guarantee the blimp reaches the town hall. Once the blimp arrives, place a rage spell and deploy your clone spells slightly offset so they clone units over key structures surrounding the town hall. If there is an invisibility spell tower near the town hall that is not yet activated, freeze both the town hall and the spell tower to ensure the takedown is successful. This prevents time fails and secures a clean and consistent 3-star finish. At TH16 we've cloned Hydra. We begin the attack by deploying the Archer Queen, using her giant arrow to snipe 1 or 2 air defenses. If you can also line up an air sweeper with the giant arrow, that is a bonus value. On the opposite side, we deploy the Barbarian King to establish the second funnel. His role is to clear outer buildings and guide our main army straight into the core of the base. Once both funnels are properly set, we send in the dragons, balloons, dragon riders, along with the Grand Warden and the Minion Prince, pushing them directly through the center. Next, we deploy the battle blimp. Timing is very important here. We activate the Warden's ability just before the blimp exits his aura. This allows us to benefit from both the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome. If, for any reason, the blimp does not reach the town hall, do not panic. We simply deploy the clone spells spread out like this, followed by a rage spell. This combination will completely obliterate the core of the base, and the town hall will eventually go down. We also use freeze spells to support the balloons, making it easier for them to take out the town hall. From here, hero abilities should be used based on the situation. Any remaining freeze spells are saved for high-value compartments, especially the scattershot area, freezing both the scattershots and nearby air defenses to reduce damage on our dragons. If there is an invisibility spell tower near the town hall that is not yet activated, freeze both the town hall and the spell tower to ensure the takedown is successful. Regarding the Minion Prince, do not wait for perfect value. If you see him facing a direction where his ability will freeze multiple high-value defenses, activate it immediately. Waiting too long often results in the ability triggering automatically at a suboptimal moment. Use it proactively to control the back end of the base. Finally, deploy cleanup minions on remaining trash buildings. If there are no safe buildings nearby, place them at the far edge of the base, well out of defensive range. This ensures faster cleanup, prevents time fails, and secures a clean and consistent 3-star finish. You can see after making so many mistakes, we managed to triple this base. What else do you expect from this mighty strategy? At TH17 we've an extremely straightforward strategy. You start by using the giant arrow on one side of the base immediately. Even if you do not take down a single air defense or air sweeper, that is completely fine. On the opposite side, deploy the Royal Champion with the Rocket Spear, along with the Siege Barracks, and create small paving. In the meantime, use the RC ability. After that, you simply deploy all of your dragons and heroes in a straight line across the base. Let's drop the freeze and poison here. Oh no, we've misplaced the poison spell. We use the Warden's ability before the town hall shoots and use the rage spell here. When the Warden's ability finishes we will use the Minion Prince ability. It is even easier than most super troop attacks because you do not need to worry about forcing your army into the core. The dragons naturally sweep through the base together. There is no complicated funneling required, no precision entry angles, and no advanced setup. You spam everything in a clean line and then use your spells and revive abilities as needed. That is genuinely the entire strategy. What makes this strategy truly stand out is its consistency. There are very few armies, especially air-based ones, that I can confidently use to 3-star multiple bases on the first attempt. With this strategy, I did exactly that. In fact, I intentionally swagged Revive spell because it was left unused. That should tell you everything about how forgiving and powerful this approach really is. When it comes to hero equipment, if you do not have the Dark Crown on the Minion Prince, you can easily substitute it with the Metal Pants or the Henchman Puppet. The synergy here is incredible. Reviving a Minion Prince who already has increased health and damage means that every time he comes back, he becomes an absolute tank. The value you get from repeated revives is honestly insane. Of course, reviving the Royal Champion is always a strong option as well. The Grand Warden stays relatively safe throughout the attack. In fact, during all of my friendly challenges, he did not go down even once. You can also choose to revive the Archer Queen if you need extra time for cleanup, which makes this strategy even more flexible. Overall, this attack is unreal in terms of ease and strength. I personally discovered it after finishing my Legend League hits. Since I may not have enough time to showcase it properly in Legend League over the next day or two, I will be demonstrating it through friendly challenges instead. I strongly encourage you to try this strategy yourself. If you think it sounds too simple to be effective, test it out. I 3-starred every base on my first attempt while casually swagging spells throughout the attacks. Don't worry, I'll bring a whole guide on this on the channel. Stay tuned. Don't forget to check other videos below and our 500 like aim. And I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay beautiful. Peace.